What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 20 of Sports Card Talk. Honestly, I can't believe it was episode 20. That is interesting. We got Coleman cards in the house. We got Shaya in the house. How was your day, gentlemen? How was your day going?
Yeah, day's good. Very busy day, like usual. Just morning routine, and went to Burbank today and hung out in their dollar boxes for a little bit, and then couldn't pass up doing like a big deal with Ryan, and now I'm back here.
What about you, Shaya?
Busy day as well. I did not hit to Burbank, but it was a busy day. A lot of people were hitting my line today.
Yeah,
So
man. I mean, you're a busy man, right? I heard you did a little dealaroo today. You
a
made a
little
play
dealer.
today. Do you wanna talk to the people about it a little bit?
Oh yeah, we can talk about it. I did a little research on eBay, and I decided to pick up a Donovan Mitchell Prism Rookie Mojo PSA 9. So yeah,
How much did that run you?
I'm excited to get that in. I got that at 4K. I think that's a good buy. And we'll see. I got to get it in. It's shipping from overseas. I'm going to be using Ship My Card, so we'll see how that pans out and when I get it in a couple weeks.
Shout out Ship My Cards. Coleman, I know you talked about it I want to say like around a month ago, and then I like looked into it and started using it a little bit more, and then I used it for the LeBron refractor deal for trading, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna be using it a ton. So I want to make sure we give them a shout out because they're doing a really really good job, I think, and I think there's a ton of value. Right, you buy something off eBay, you send it to Ship My Cards, it goes to their Oregon location, so you don't pay tax. Then it goes to the Arizona location. Then from there, you can either keep it in your account or you can just get it shipped back to you. So I think it's a really good play for the everyday collector, everyday investor, everyday flipper to save some money and use that avenue.
Yeah, another thing they do, I believe, is if you do a trade with somebody but you never like really worked together before, they'll act as a third party, and I believe you can use them and ship the card to them. Once they get the card, send the payment, and then the card goes to you. That's kind of cool too.
I was over the last week, I've been talking to many different people, some within the card community, others that are coming in looking to invest in the card community, right? And not only specific cards, but let's say businesses to help the card community. And like I think that a lot of people are so one-sided of thinking, oh, cards is the only thing within the business that could profit. But businesses around that, right? Like businesses like Ship My Cards, where it just eases the process for people or saves them money. Those are the types of businesses too that I think can really excel off of this thriving card market. And I think there's going to be other businesses that come up in the very near future where it's ideas where people are like, well, why didn't I think about that, right? Type thing. So I'm excited to see whether it's new technology or stuff like Ship My Cards grow and be able to help the industry as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in this industry, a lot. Because whenever an industry like this, has so much money put into it and becomes so much bigger, it's just there's all kinds of opportunity like on the outskirts and stuff as far as making things better and improving things. So yeah.
There's like a couple things I was thinking about as like real big opportunities. One of it's like the escrow, right? An escrow service, if you will, kind of like now Ship My Cards is doing. Like why? Like it doesn't make sense for people to somebody outside the card community to be like, oh, I'm going to send this person $50,000, and then once they get it in, they're going to ship my card. That doesn't make like to anybody not within the card community. That makes zero sense. So I think I know PWCC does it. I know Ship My Cards, but like I feel like if somebody really really dug deep in that and really created like a escrow service with great brand, built the reputation, I think that could be really really successful.
Absolutely. And it would basically, I mean, if you do that, you're kind of just acting as a broker in a way, right? You're kind of brokering the deals and you're putting the money in escrow, so you get a small fee or something.
You get some sort of percent. I mean, brokering is a little bit different, but it's almost like that. Yeah. I mean, like let's say me and you, Coleman, we don't know each other and we're trying to do a deal. You have the card and it's a $75,000 card. I want to pay you 75,000. We go to this escrow company. You know, the money basically goes through their funnel, and then they have the card as well, and then they basically smooth out the transaction from there. And then they get whatever percent that they take or a fee, whatever it is. But I think something like that is very intriguing, and there's a lot of opportunity there. You know, I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems like every day that this market is growing, and it's like, well, what things can you put around it to make it easy? Is it, you know, insurance is a big thing. I know collectibles insurance, that's a big opportunity. Fractional ownership companies are coming up. One thing we haven't even talked about yet was the new investors into Goldin Auctions. We didn't even talk about that yet, which should have been probably one of the first things we talked about, but it'll be the second. But did you guys hear the news fully? Like, are you guys kind of in sync with the news and what happened, basically? What are you initial thoughts when you heard the news? What were your initial thoughts? Shaya, we can start off with you if you want to go ahead and give me your initial thoughts, what you thought, what you think, what do you think it means going forward?
I think it's great news. Obviously, I think we're going to see a lot more publicity, especially from these celebrities and investors and such regarding the market. And we're seeing it slowly but surely. We're seeing cards more and more on the news. We're seeing athletes like Deshaun Watson posting with the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the rookie card. We're seeing it just more and more often. And I'm excited to see where it goes, but I think this was definitely a big thing, and it really shows that a lot of these investors are serious about the card game. That's why they invested. So I think it's obviously a great move by them.
Yeah, I when I first heard it, to be honest, I was a little bit worried because I thought that Ken Goldin like used some of his videos as of late to like pump his company and then sell it, because he just didn't think he wasn't bullish on the hobby. So I thought he was like cashing out at first. But then I kind of got more details and figured out, you know, once the news officially broke and stuff like that. And it made me really believe in the hobby even more, because the people that are buying it clearly see the potential of the hobby, and they see the potential of Goldin Auctions. And, you know, for how big Goldin Auctions is, how many times have you gone on there and their server's down and you can't like check auctions or like bid or anything like that? So, and it's just not the greatest layout, I mean, or website. You know, I'm not like big into coding or building websites or anything, but like, you know, it just seems a little bit clunky. So, you know, thinking about like what they're going to inject into it and how they're going to improve it, I thought that was really cool. And then obviously the people that invested in it, you know, like I'm looking at on businesswire.com, just like of all the people, and it's listing Adam Bain, Dick Costello, Mark Cuban, Kevin Durant, and Rich Kleiman. And Rich Kleiman is partners with Kevin Durant from 35 Ventures. You got Rich Greenfield, Chad Hurley, Bill Lee, Timothy Timbaland Mosley, Christian Ostlian, Logan Paul, right? Anthony Pompliano, Shiva Rajar. I don't know how to say these names. Rajaraman from Facebook. He's a VP in product Facebook. Spencer Raskoff, Bill Simmons, who is a massive media pundit with The Ringer, who's got a podcast I listen to all the time, the Bill Simmons podcast. Dwayne Wade, Mark Wahlberg, and Deshaun Watson. So
just stacked list.
Stacked. And, you know, they're putting massive share into that. So it's not a secret anymore. It's going to continue to get bigger. But at the same time, we're seeing like some pullbacks on some of these big cards and stuff. And we're seeing an overwhelming supply on Goldin Auctions right now. Like there's so many cards on Goldin Auctions going in this month's auction. It's I mean, like I went through the list today and was looking at some of the stuff, and it's like, it's insane what is on there. Insane.
Yeah, I mean, they have I mean, the biggest one and the one that I have most interest in is the Kobe Black Label. And I think that card's at over $1 million right now, I believe.
So you got big. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. You got big cards like that. You got cards like that. You got the Luka NTR PA PSA 10. You have like all these big Jordans and LeBrons, but then you have all this other stuff, like tons of other stuff. Like there's Anthony Davis and Dame Lillard Prism Golds on there. There's all kinds of like LeBron autos, Kobe autos, stuff like that. There's just so much. Like I've never seen this much volume on a Ken Goldin auction.
Well, you know why? You know why, right?
Because everyone's trying to cash grab.
Well, this is somebody told me this and that it seemed right. It's because I think everything that happens on this auction, he's still full ownership of, and then he gets the full percentage.
Oh, you think everything that was supposed to be for maybe next month or something, he's putting it all into this auction?
I think because this auction that's going on right now has the most fire we've ever seen yet. He probably tried to fill this one up. So like he gets the whatever, what is it called? Buyer's premium.
He cashes out on all that before the company.
Like that's what I would. Like that's what anybody would do. That's smart. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. But also, I would say there has to be the variable of with these record prices, people are just sending everything and anything to Goldin Auctions.
Yeah, like
and cash out.
Yeah, because if you can get high prices on higher prices than you can get anywhere else, then yeah, you send it to them. You know, like if they can be the premier spot where like if you send now, it can't be just a dog shit card. It has to be, you know, a high end in demand, you know, card. If they can get you the premium price, then you send it to them every time.
Yeah, there's some obscure stuff on there that will no doubtedly slip through the cracks, which I'm very excited to watch. And you know, if that's the case, and he's just trying to cash out, if that is the case, I feel like that wouldn't look very good.
Well, he's not cashing out. It's just like the last time that he'll have full ownership. So maybe, you know, he's getting a little, you know, little green. Like there's nothing, you know, wrong.
Well, I mean, the thing that could be wrong with it is if you're like just throwing so many auctions up like that, inevitably the demand probably can't meet the supply of stuff that's on there.
But it is because
we'll see.
Because then they announced that there's investors. Like it's all about attention. Like he's going out putting all these fire cards in the last auction. All those cards have attention and demand. Like,
so you don't think that many cards will slip through the cracks then?
I haven't looked at the full list, but I don't believe so. I think that there's so much attention around Goldin right now. Who's talking about Heritage right now? Right now, there's a BGS 10 Kobe Refractor 138 on Heritage Auctions right now, and nobody's talking about it. That over 500,000, but who's talking about it? Nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of attention on Goldin right now. So it doesn't matter. All the celebrities, all, you know, the top 1%. Where do I find these big cards? Where should I go to buy these big cards and not get screwed? Oh, go to Goldin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll be fascinating then to see what happens over the next couple of weeks
KD has 50 of his boys and like, yo, where do I get cards? Oh, go to Goldin, bro. I invest in that company. It's legit, blah, blah, blah. You know, or you go, you know, to one of us and we plug you and get you a better price. But, you know.
Here's a question. Do you think KD's boys would rather have his Topps Chrome Refractor or a KD auto rookie card?
His refractor, because they don't know about the auto stuff.
Or do they just not care because they could just get him to sign something?
I don't know. That's a tough question. KD, let us know. But like, you know, I think that it's going to be very fascinating because we saw, you know, these celebrities invest in a company. Like what that to me shows us that what we've been talking about the last 6 months of, you know, celebrities getting into this top 1%, it is officially here. It is officially here.
I think it's just getting started though.
Yeah, like of course. But this isn't the moment where we keep talking about, oh, celebrities are getting into it. Oh, it's officially, it's initially has happened. And there's more room to go. Like you said, Shia, 100% agree with you. But like you're going to be going to a show and you're going to be seeing, maybe 3 people that are really well known, or 4, like I don't know, but you'll go to your DMs and you'll be like, oh wait, this person hit me up. He wants this card. That's crazy. Okay, like you know what I mean? Like that stuff is already happening in our world.
Sasha's DM box is getting rocked by celebrity DMs, dude.
It is not, but it is getting rocked. It's a bummer because like I always like responding back to everybody, but like at this point, like I'm like, holy shit, there's so many DMs where like, and there's like not enough time in the day. I'm trying to figure that one out.
Do you stray away from like one word answers, like when people send you a couple of blocks, even though one word will answer the question?
I don't respond to like what's the best thing to invest in right now with like $100.
Right.
I can't answer that in like one sentence, and I'm not gonna like tell you what to buy.
What do you say? Do you say all of that, or do you just say like?
I just be like, do research, or like watch the videos, or like I'll have homies. Like it's really interesting. I'll have homies that are like texting me like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, bro, just like watch the videos.
Through text, that can come across really aggressive when you just say, watch the videos,
I agree. But these are homies that I haven't talked to in like 4, 5, 6 years. So it's like, don't.
Yeah. For sure. And
you like Coleman, you'll get that. Like, you know what I mean? Coleman, somebody will see your Instagram page and your homie will hit you up, or Shaya, maybe your high school friend. And you'll be like, what do I do? And it's like, watch the pod. Like all the juice is within this.
100%.
Like this is like what we talk about is what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's nothing different.
Would you say that with all the people coming in right now, and that it might still be early, that people letting go of like big cards right now, they're taking the risk of not ever getting that card back again?
Yes. I'll give you a perfect example. I bought that Kobe Refractor 9, a month ago? Right? Month and a half ago. That's a card that if I sell with that limited of green, like, it's a clean copy. What are my chances of ever getting that card back? Or if you sell your Luka Gold?
Yeah, that's gone. Luka Gold's gone. The Kobe Refractors, I'd probably say, is a little bit, because there's 270 of those.
Yeah, but like the copies that aren't like green. I've already gotten offers that are, and I've told you about, and it's nutty. But what can you do with that money? That's the question and the answer.
Yeah. So I wonder if like all these people are just flooding Goldin with their cards.
Yeah, because they're like, bro, like there's nothing wrong with taking that dub.
Yeah. No, nothing at all. Nothing wrong with taking that money, because at the end of the day, it's like changing people's lives.
Yeah, like look, this is that transition period where it goes from collector or whatever it is to the top 1%.
Yeah.
This is that period. It's right now. It's happening. Like if I was somebody and I like literally just had a random card, like not a random, but like a really nice card that I had from when I was younger. And it turns out that now it's a $500,000 card. And I'm, a 9-to-5 worker and I'm paying bills. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that card can be 1.5 mil in 2 years. But that 500,000 today is life-changing money for that person.
Yeah.
On a winning lotto ticket.
Yeah. So like, I think that there's education that comes with how to sell it. What are you going to put your money into? How you cash out. There's education that comes within that. But I think I'm excited for all these people that are cashing out, and I'm also excited for the people that are buying these cards because they see the opportunity within it. Like at the end of the day, with any sale, if it goes the right way, there should be 2 people winning at the end, not 1.
Yep.
Unless you're Shaya, then
Yeah, Shaya always wins. It's weird. Like I've let go of 3 big cards in the last week.
How you feeling?
Terrified. Terrified.
Was the KD one of them, or was that just
the KD was one of them? Because like that card has potential to be a really big card if KD continues on this path of balling out with the Nets and the Nets go to the finals, and if they somehow win it, game over.
it's, and I was thinking about this a lot today, and that was one of the reasons I called you today, Coleman, just because like we're in this weird thing where it's like this is what we do day to day. So like there's a business side to it of like, look, we got to make margins, but there's also a side of like, look, we really believe in this business and we want to hold certain cards because like we're investors as well. Like that there's an interesting dynamic that comes with it. Like we're not in that top 1% where like, okay, let's go put like $1 million into the card market and then just sit on it for 10 years. If me and Coleman had that type of money, we would know exactly what to buy and we'd do it and we'd go to bed for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Right. We would just throw them in a box and forget about them and go about like our yacht life or whatever.
Yeah, like Shaya would go get the sickest LeBron exquisite of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's simple now. Again, like you have to find the cards, but like, like we're in the world, so we kind of know where the cards are.
Yeah. What would you get, Shaya? Shaya, if you did have $1 million right now, if you were one of these fat cats, one of these 1%ers, which by the way, I think Sasha is a 1%er now. But Shaya, what would you buy?
In one card.
No, I mean like it can be a couple, whatever. But like, is there a card that basically you'd be like, okay, well, I got to get that and lock that up because that's the card.
I think one of them is definitely the LeBron rookie limited logos with a nasty patch. I think that, especially with a lot of people thinking that LeBron's the GOAT, I personally think MJ is the GOAT. But there's a lot of people, there's this wave, there's this new generation that thinks that LeBron is clearly the GOAT, undecided. And at the end of the day, that as though that these younger kids start growing up and they have more money to use and invest, LeBrons are going to go up. I'm not saying MJ is going to go down. There's still going to be a lot of people that believe in MJ and believe that he's the GOAT. But I would say that is like a cream of the crop card. If it's like a nasty patch with a sick auto, good grade, I think that is definitely one that you can't go wrong with.
I love it. I love that you like that one instead of the RPA. The exquisite auto patch out of 99 instead of. I love that you love the limited logos rookie instead of the RPA.
For sure.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either.
You can't go wrong with either one of them.
But see, those are the types of cards. If you have the money and you put it away, even a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, like that's just a baller card. Like, shout out to the top 1%ers that are doing that right now.
Shout out to Sasha.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this, Coleman. I think this is an interesting question, and I kind of want to just ask it for my personal, like, for me personally. What is the price for that Luka Gold? Is there a number? Is there a time thing? Is it like what is the play?
Here's the cool thing about that is that I don't have a number for it. I don't. Like if somebody offered me $1 million, which would be a drastic overpay for it, I just wouldn't take it.
You wouldn't take $1 million for that card?
No. Because here's the thing. One, I'm not getting $1 million.
That card's worth what, 300?
I mean, it's I don't know, 300, 400, like nobody knows. But let's just say it's worth 400, right? If somebody overpays by $1 million, first, I'm not getting that $1 million, right? That's getting cut in half. That's getting, well, I mean, again, I guess you could clean it through an LLC or something, but let's just say that
taxes, all that. Yeah.
Let's just say
30, 40, 30%.
Yeah, let's just say 40%. So let's say you're taking 600. Okay, so you take 600. I'll never see the card again. Now I gotta go buy some for 600. I mean, I can barely even get an MJ Fleer PSA 10 for 600. It'd be cool to grab that. I could go and have a spending spree. I could buy a house or something, whatever. But
again, the question always is, what do you do with the money?
The question is, what you do with the money. Here's the thing. I live in a shitty apartment here in LA. I drive an even shittier car that's worth like $1,500. Shia is just loving this, dude. Shai's living like that life of luxury in the hills, and he's just loving this, dude. I just like I really do love cards. I really do.
So you're saying you enjoy having that card
Yeah.
versus any other attainable asset?
I like being in the club, dude. I just like being in the club. Like I try not to identify with my cards. Like I try to be someone who does cards.
Like you want one of those, you want to be one of those 10 guys with a Luka gold.
Because here's my thing is like, if Luka does, like it's a big if, but if Luka does turn out to be one of the guys that like is up there and can crack that freaking Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, just holy trinity that like nobody is able to crack. If he can, like Curry is like a distant like fourth. He's on like, right, you go like even Ken Golden State, he's like, it's like after those three guys, it's like KD, Curry, then you go down a little bit more and it's like other guys and stuff. If Luka can crack that card is huge. Like, I mean, not like so huge, like unfathomable. And I've collected cards since I was 10 years old. I have been right a lot, but I always ended up letting go of the card because I needed money. And I'm in a position now where I can, you know, buy cards, flip them, make enough money to get by, be able to put away savings. I don't really like luxurious things. I don't need much. I can be one of those psychopaths who shouldn't be owning the card, who owns the card. Like, I love being the poorest person who owns a Luka Prism Gold. You know what I mean?
Coleman cards. The poorest person to hold a Luka Prism Gold.
I'll get a t-shirt made.
Okay, so the other side of it is what happens if he turns into a D Rose? How are you feeling then?
Here's the thing. I bought it for $12,000. It will never be worth $12,000 again. Even if he turns into a D Rose, like that card is never going to be $12,000 again. It'll still be worth like 20 grand or something. So like I can't lose. And like I get to take the whole ride. I get to take the whole ride for better or for worse, man. Like, and I just like owning the card, man. I just like owning the card. Otherwise, I would have sold it a long time ago. I would have sold it when it was 50 or 100, you know? Because everyone was telling me to do it. Everyone was telling me to do it. Everyone was telling me to sell it. There's something to be said about having the freaking the balls to be able to hold a card like that when it makes no sense financially.
I think that there is going to be a moment in time where we're at a show and you have that card out just for show, and somebody comes up to you and offers you an unfathomable amount of money, and I want to see that go down. And it could be somebody that is well known in media, in, you know, just a well-known person, and it's just you and that person, and it's like, I will give you everything. And I just want to like,
it's gonna be Mark Cuban.
Here's what, I mean, that's a good, no, he wouldn't want a 9. Here's the cool thing about owning mine is I don't have to put up with that unwanted attention because I have a BGS 9.
Doesn't matter for that card. You know that.
It doesn't, but like at the end of the day, there's 6 9.5s or maybe 5. There's 5 9.5s and 3 PSA 10s. So anybody that wants that card is going after those 8 way before they even think about trying to go after my 9. So I don't really have to worry about that. But the real question will be if one day someone walks up, just like you're saying, and they got a really beautiful LeBron Exquisite RPA, sick 3-color patch, nice auto, and they're just like, straight up, let's do it. Like, that's going to be like the real, like, whoa, like if that ever happened, right? That's like something like that. But if they're just offering money, I don't think I would do it. I'd rather have a card.
What do you think, Shaya?
I would take that LeBron all day. If somebody came up, that's easy.
There's something to, and I think you brought up a good point, Coleman, too. Is like there's something to be said of holding those types of cards. Like the amount of time somebody is like, "Are you selling? I'll offer you this. I'll offer you that," and it's just like, no. takes a that takes a certain level of persistence to say no that
Yeah.
many times.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta like have the right context. And my context is I'm not selling the card. I want to own it. I like owning it. So yeah. But anyway, not to like wax long about, that.
No, I think the viewers, I think half of them will be like, I would have sold that and bought like whatever, and then half will be like, no, I'm gonna keep that forever, and then
I'll tell you, 90% of people think I'm a complete idiot, and they thought I was a complete idiot for buying it too. So it's like
yeah.
at this point, I don't care what anybody thinks, dude. Like, I just don't. Like, all I care about is like, am I cool with what I'm doing? That's it. Am I cool with what I'm doing? Or am I succumbing to the emotions of everybody else around me who's telling me what I should think and do?
Brings it that I mean that's a good point. So to wrap it up on that, Coleman Cards is basically going to the grave with that card.
Casket card, baby.
And then Shaya's gonna come in, dig out. And
Guy's
get the
gonna
card.
grade. What a image, dude. And then you're gonna document the whole thing. It's gonna be a vlog.
Like, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 million. Like,
We're gonna go dig up a grave, dude. Savage.
like, oh, we're just gonna, go check out Coleman, see how he's doing. Like, that's our boy. Then also, we're gonna try to get this Luca Gold out of his grave.
It'll just be like a rap music montage of you digging the whole time, like in fast mode.
Like, we got the card. Like, we're bringing it up. No, I would never do that. Shaya might, you never know, but
What are you kidding me, Ron? What a horrible accusation.
I mean, hey, like if that's the case, then I'll just like leave you like some fractional shares of it in my will, so you don't.
Hey, you never know. That might be a fractional ownership card by the time it goes. Like, who knows?
100%.
Who knows? Well, let me ask you this: what do you think is happening with most of the bigger cards? Are they going and getting auctioned off, or are they going and fractional ownership companies are buying it? And also, what is the best way to do it? Because we see people with big cards go to Goldin and they get premium prices, but we also see people sell the cards to fractional ownership companies and they get premiums as well.
So is your question, a lot of these big cards, are they getting bought up by fractional companies?
Well, we know it's getting bought up by fractional ownership companies, but I guess my question is, what is the better route if you have a big card like that? Do you go and send it to Goldin, or do you take a fractional ownership company's offer? Because we know Goldin is getting premium prices, but also these fractional ownership companies are paying good prices.
That's a slippery slope. I would always say send it to auction. Because you're going to get people fighting over that card, and you're going to get the true market value of the card, which is probably going to be a lot higher than anybody's actually offering. In some cases, yes, you're going to get a strong offer, but I'd say, like, instead of having to like wrestle with, is this a high enough offer, and like not know for sure, like if you want to be 100 certain about getting the most money for it, just send it to auction and let it ride. But that being said, like, I'd be so terrified if one of my big cards was in this Goldin auction right now with like 14 or 1500 listings. Like, I'd be terrified, because I feel like it might not go as high as it could, because I don't know if there's that enough money to go around on that 14 or 1500 listings. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a bunch of questions in now from different people. I want to start off with this. What are people really like? Are people really enamored by the PSA label new versus old? Like, is it for the modern market? Is it that, I guess not modern, but like, what is the price difference? And do you think it really matters at the end of the day?
I think it definitely matters. I know personally, when I go to buy a card, and if it's in that old PSA label, I'm a little bit sussed out about the card. I always got to do a background check, got to go on PSA, check out the number, see if everything looks okay. And even then, I'm very, very, very cautious. And even the eye appeal part of it. The newer labels just have that eye appeal, in my opinion. But I would definitely say the new label cards are worth more than the old label ones, especially because most people are going to go and pay to get that reslabbed. And there's just that whole exchange. But I would definitely say the new label cards are more expensive than the old label.
Yeah, I would completely agree with Shaya.
What about for like the bigger cards though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does it really matter?
Well, I mean, a Topps Chrome Refractor LeBron James PSA 10, like I want that new label.
Interesting.
It just looks so much better. It really does.
And the new label will continuously change as time goes by and PSA updates their labels and such. But as that
Well,
is,
dude, what happens if they update it again?
They probably will, but like it's got all that security. It's got the little like hologram or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, the little silver thing in the middle. That looks really good. And then on the back, obviously it's got the barcode to scan. I mean, you still have a barcode on the front of the old ones and stuff, but there's just more security involved in the new cases and the new labels, I should say. So in my opinion, like there's that warm feeling when I see a new label as opposed to an old label. It's just like Shai was saying, like it's a little bit sus. Like when you see that new label, you're not tripping out at all over authenticity or, you know, anything being altered. You're just not like, but when you see that old label, what goes to your head for a little bit is just like, okay, like, is this a card that might be counterfeited or might be trimmed or something like that? Like I mean, the door is open for doubt. All I'm saying, I'm not saying that like there's a lot. I'm just saying there is a small amount of, you know, you kind of trip out. But with that new label, it's like, whew, nice.
Yeah.
yeah. And I think,
Go ahead, Shai.
yeah, and I think one other thing is it's also similar with BGS, but not because of the label. We've seen a couple months ago, we saw this influx of fake slabs, and people are like, "Oh, that's fake. The writing looks off. There's not the dot and the in the bottom of the slab. There's this and that." So I think a big thing is checking out these slabs, making sure they're legit. Because at the end of the day, as this gets bigger and bigger, the sad but the truth is that there are going to be more and more of these counterfeit slabs, and yeah, it's just going to be harder to tell. But there are ways to tell. BGS, I know there's ways to tell. PSA, it's just doing your due diligence.
Let me ask you this. This is actually a really funny question. Shout out the cardboard investor asked, what is Coleman and Shaya's thoughts on Pokemon?
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Shout out Vegas Dave.
Shout out Vegas Dave.
So I have attempted to get into the Pokemon game twice now, and both attempts have failed miserably. And no, I am not talking about the red cheeks Pikachu that Sasha raves about constantly. No, I was inquiring about a Blastoise, and a Charizard is the main one, the first edition holo. I have tried looking for them, and they're obviously very hard to find. And SashaT did me a great favor. I asked him, Sasha, do you know anyone with a Charizard? And he says, no, they're very hard to find. I'm like, yeah, I maybe get into the Pokemon game. The next day, Sasha proceeds to do a full video of his entire Pokemon collection. So thank you, SashaT. So that's my opinion. I think obviously the Charizard and the Blastoise and Venusaur are great investments, especially the first edition. I don't know about that Pikachu. I definitely think the Charizard is the king, just like Prism is king, and Pikachu is nowhere near the Charizard.
Thank you for your thoughts, gentlemen.
Of course.
What do you think about Pokemon right now?
I think it's
Sash?
it's already starting to go up. It's
Why is that? Just because it went down for a while? And
25th anniversage, I believe, right?
Okay.
It's coming up like in a week, 2 weeks. Logan Paul's better rip 6 first edition boxes, which is absolutely insane. And that's going to bring a lot of attention back in. And it's going to be what people don't understand when remember, you guys all remember when Pokemon really blew up, prices hit all-time highs. The cards right now, those same cards are those same all-time prices it was before, and in some cases more. And nobody's really talking about it. So once this Logan Paul thing happens, 21st anniversary happens, a lot of attention is going to go towards there, and then the hype's just going to build back up again. And also, people forget when Pokemon was at its height in the market, it was actually in mainstream media covered more than sports cards. It was like, if you really take a look, it was, which I thought was really interesting. So I just think that there's so many factors coming in that it's about to go crazy again, and it already has. Like Red Cheeks, I've been talking about the last couple of weeks. It was 7,000-8,000. Now somebody binned a bunch of them at all the way up to like 14,000, 15,000. There's 2 in auction right now. They're already almost at 12,000 with like 8 days left.
I have a prediction that buyer is watching this podcast. So hello.
Oh, he has a lot of money then.
And a SashaT.
The Red Cheeks 10 though, it's a pop a little over 270. I want to say there's only 270 of them. The PSA 10, like you buy up that market, like it's what the fractional ownership companies are doing. It's what the hedge, it's the same thing. So that's what I think, and I think Charizard already has gone up. Bulbasaur,
There's a Charizard PSA 10 in auction right now, isn't there?
I think there is
Through Goldin, I think.
It's at 3 something.
I'm not sure. I think I checked and it was like 160 or something.
That's a card that I believe it's a 350K card. I might be wrong. And people want that card, and people will pay for that card, and the top 1% will buy that card. And we're in a different time than we were before. Now, again, we're in the middle of basketball season. Everything's kind of always, strong during the middle of basketball season. So off season could hit again and prices go down. Like it's a cycle at the end of the day. Like we talked about it before. I bought a fucking Giannis Prism 10 yesterday. I'm picking it up tomorrow. Like, I don't like Giannis, but Giannis is going up. Like at the show, me and Coleman wanted to buy Kawhi.
Yeah.
Like it's just a cycle. Shaya over here bought a Donovan Mitchell card.
Yeah. You say that with such like what a horrible buy, Shaya.
I don't believe you guys purchased the Kawhis. So
we didn't. We weren't able to.
No, we were late. We
were 20 seconds too late, and I don't know.
We got smoked on that one. So the Charizard's at 240,000 right now in Goldin's auction.
That's just an iconic card.
Is that a record already?
No.
What's the record?
Logic
20?
A little over 350.
350. Oh, okay.
Dude, I'm like, there's moments in time where like people were early, and I think that was the last 2 years where like you're able to get in on the market on these big ass cards. Now it's like in my head, it's like, can you put the finishing touches of what you've been working on the last 2 years to make your almost like not final plays, but maybe final like big plays?
I completely agree. Go for it, Shaya.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with that because I personally like have this feeling inside that like we have about a year to make whatever big plays we can. If we're going to try and get, I don't even know if we have a year.
I wouldn't even say a year.
6 months. Like it's not long. I don't know how long it is. It could be 2 months. It could be a year. I have no idea. But there is that feeling that like the game is over as far as like getting some of these like really big cards.
But then again, like for you, me, and like there's a ton of, and Shaya, there's a ton of money in what we do at our finest, which is flipping. But we're like, and I want to make sure the audience knows like what we're saying is like, if you're going after those grails, your 100 plus 200, 300, like that's really tough. It's really tough.
Perspective too. So like the small time guy who's just getting into it and has built his way up, 50, like the grail is all in perspective. That could be a 10K card, that could be 5K. So as you keep growing, that grail advances. I think what we are mainly directing towards, like we're not saying that a Lucas Silver 10, for instance, isn't a grail to some people. It 100% is. We are specifically talking about those exquisite limited logos, those high grade, no greening, Topps Chrome Kobe's, those type of cards that will get locked up with people who have the capital to hold it.
Yeah.
We're talking about those cards that are limited. So
I would argue that we're talking about like anywhere from 50 to 100, 150K cards right now. Like we're talking about those cards that are like sort of in that range where if like we just freaking went to town trying to flip and stuff, we could like somehow come up with that money to be able to make a play on one of those cards. And then that's the card that will double or triple in like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Except for Sasha, because Sasha's going after that $500,000. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Like
no.
we can't afford that stuff. We can't afford that stuff. I mean, it's amazing that like we're able to, try to put ourselves in the positions to where we could try and land a 50 or 100 or 150K card. But like, that's, I guess what I'm talking about is like, there's still cards that are in that range, right? That like we believe in enough that have crazy upside still that probably will at some point rise dramatically if they haven't already.
And I wanted to point this out real quick. I receive a lot of DMs. I think I could speak for the three of us. We get a lot of DMs about quote unquote, what should I buy with X amount? And that is often a question that there's no right answer to. What you should buy is based off of opinion. First of all, what do you think is cheap? Which players do you like in comparison to the market or wherever it may be? And it's research. So each person's perception of the stats or the research or the position the player's in or whatever it may be is different. So the buy, for instance, the offseason was the perfect example. Sasha and Coleman went after KD and I went after Kawhi. Both buys panned out. There was no right buy, there was no wrong buy. But they both ended up panning out. So there's not often one right answer to what should I buy.
The KD's panned out.
Katie's panned out way harder than Kawhi. Yeah.
Both panned out 100%.
Again, perspective. It's all about perspective on that. It's all about
perspective. And the Kawhi's panned out if you sold at the peak. Now is the buying opportunity, in my opinion.
I went after MPJs pretty hard before the season started, and I was totally wrong on that. So I mean, again, like, yeah, to your point, Shaya, basically, like, people say, like, what's the best buy? I don't know. Like, if I knew, then I'd be buying all of it and I wouldn't be telling anybody.
Every day it changes.
It changes.
But look at Trey.
And I think people forget that, like, it wasn't a little while ago where, we were just grading Trae Young base and Luka base and flipping and
loving base
and base and flip and like it's all about building. Like, you can't just start off like and unless you have a ton of money, but like, you can't just start off and go after big cards. Like, you got to first off, you got to understand different markets just to be able to get there. It's not just flipping. It's understanding the markets you're getting into and educating yourself. So when you go in and somebody brings you a card, you feel confident and you're able to make plays. There's education, like, of different markets. I'm learning every day about different markets in the sports card world. I'm still learning about different LeBron autos. There's like Kobe autos. Like, it's an everlasting learning. Like, for me, I've been in this for 2 years. I don't know, like 2 years, maybe over 2 years. Like, but like every day I'm fucking like I'm trying to learn this shit. You know what I mean? So,
dude, I've been in this for like 10 times longer than you, and I'm learning every day, and I'm like wrong every day and making mistakes every day.
Yep.
It's like it's a lifelong, I mean, any pursuit is a lifelong thing. And if you're not acting as a lifelong learner, like, then you're coming at it way wrong.
Especially if like you're one of those collectors that maybe got back in it like 3 years ago, and then they act like they're like the top, the shit. And you're just like, these flippers shouldn't be doing this. These investors shouldn't be doing. It's like, bro, aren't you doing the same exact thing except calling yourself a collector?
Pretty much. I mean, look, I'm a collector at the end of the day. I have a Tracy McGrady collection that I'm extremely proud of, like extremely proud. Like it literally brings me joy. And I look at it as my greatest accomplishment, some of the T-Max I've been able to get. But at the end of the day, like, if I can change my life And like when I get married someday and have kids and I can change my entire family's life because I flipped cards and like made a bunch of money from it, shame on anybody who tells me what I'm doing is wrong.
Yes. And you'll tell them little Colemans what's good.
Yeah, my little Colemans are going to look them in the eye and with their little sad faces and be like, what?
Oh, I just think it was amazing, especially when I first got into it. Like, I can never understand this dynamic of like everybody has to listen to the collectors. Like, it was weird to me. It was like, oh, these people are looked down upon for certain reasons because they buy and sell cards. And I'm like, they do the same thing.
It's different though. It's different because they're called a collector and you're a flipper. So
Yeah,
it's just
like,
different. No, it's the same thing, man. It's just
no,
look, I mean,
it's
at the
just
end of the
crazy
day,
to think about.
it's a fear.
Because you're
mindset.
35 or 40 or 50, I have to listen to you.
I mean, we don't want to go on about it too much because, dude, you know, when we go on this, we just start beating it up and stuff. And it's like at the end of the day, man, it's like it's people that just there's a little air of elitism and superiority in the way that they think about that sort of thing.
They're probably pissed that like, dude, I saw this one blowout thing was the fun. Shaya, did you see that? They sent it in the group chat. They're like, they sent it was in like blowout or something. They
Was
sent
that you?
Yeah. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah. They're like, this guy with his mumble rap music, like blah, 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 like flipping cards. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Just some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, damn. Like, it's just, I don't know.
I think it's a lot of FOMO too, because as the prices rise, right?
Yeah, they're
like they get all butthurt that the prices rise and they can't get the cards that they wanted, but like they weren't willing to spend the money it took to get those cards a year ago. So now they should have the opportunity to buy those cards at the prices that they were a year ago. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's just regret. And it's like, I get it. Regret is a real emotion. Like it's the number one regret that, you know, all men don't want to go through and end up going through. You know, it's one thing we all look back at in life and we don't want to have regret. Like it's a real thing. I totally get it. But to place all the blame from that emotion onto other people, it's not right. So anyway, that's
the
it.
biggest regret for Shaya, it will be not going to these local shows, guaranteed, in his
100%.
lifetime.
He's gonna be 80 years old on his deathbed. He's gonna be like, Sasha and Coleman were right. And his family's gonna be like, who?
The 3 OC shows.
I should have went to the OC shows. I should have went to Dallas. I think we'll end it there. That was a fantastic episode, gentlemen. I think the viewers are going to get a lot out of it. I'm excited for people to listen in, tune in, and see what they agree and disagree with. And make sure anybody's viewing, make sure you comment. Any questions you have, what you agreed with, what you want to talk about, what you disagreed with. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Like that's a must. I don't know. Like if you haven't already, it's just, I don't know what to tell you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.